Doodlebud. You're here, I'm here. That means we're looking at pens. I debate about even doing this one just because there's an abundance of reviews on the TWSBI Eco, but I thought, why not? This was actually my first non-cheap Chinese fountain pen I bought. I picked up this one in, I think this is a Fine. I'm trying to see here. Oh, I can't remember if TWSBI tells you or not. So it's either fine or extra fine. I don't even know, to be totally honest. We'll give it a quick go. We'll just chat about it. And then they look sharp. They hold a ton of ink. I like the looks of them. Then I got this one in a stub in their 1.1 millimeter. I compared this in a previous review against the Leonardo 1.1 millimeter stub just to show how different they really are. They are sharp looking pens. I like them. But to be honest, I don't use them a whole lot. One of the things, this one more than this one, it does leak quite a bit. I don't care, so much if you have a little bit of nib creep and stuff like that, but when it creeps and gets all over everything, it's a bit annoying when you go to take the pen out and your hands are going to get coated. They get dirty enough as it is working with fountain pens. So that's one of the kind of reasons here. Just a few things like it always just seems to get a little bit loose, the cap. It's just got this, they got this O-ring in here. And that's kind of why you get that feel. And I know people talked about the barrel cracking. I'm curious if that maybe just because you actually have to put a fair amount of force on here to keep it closed, if that put extra pressure on here. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. But that's one little thing with it is just that it's almost you have to close it uncomfortably tight. On this one, doesn't really wiggle at all. But on this one, the piston filler knob wiggles quite a bit. And that's, if you can see how much, when I say quite a bit, like that's the slop in it. Just so you can see how much it is turning. So that's a fair amount of slop there. So that's a little bit annoying with this one. But, you gotta do that tight. It doesn't take away from the performance. It writes well. Nib's a bit scratchy. Even the stub, when compared against other ones, I find it's a little scratchier side as well. But I know this is more their entry-level pen. I think like the 580 and that, get fantastic reviews. For the price, though, it's really, really good. I feel like I said too many negative things about the pen. But it is a really good pen for the price. It's really good. Huge ink capacity. The one nice thing with the demonstrator, you can make it look however you want. So it can be a different looking pen just depending on the ink you put into it. That's kind of a nice feature as well. But it is a good pen, but I've moved on to other pens that I like quite a bit more. That's why I never really got around to doing this review, but I thought, why not? I had them here, so let's do it. So we'll get to it. The reason why my hands are all like this was I cracked out my California Teal. I haven't used it in a while. I don't know if you are familiar with, I don't know if it's just this ink. This happens with some of your inks. If you haven't used them for a while, you get I call it the ink crust. I had to turn this bottle real hard to get it open. And you can see it all around the edge. That gives you an idea of the sheen. But, it makes a serious mess. So I should have done that at the end, not the start. I'll put that off to the side, but I'm also going to close up of it. So you can see that red that's in there. It's really cool. It's almost like some type of a gemstone or something if you saw. Let's put that over there. What are those called? The ones that crack open and they're all shiny, the geodes or whatever they're called. Another great thing, though, you should buy one just because it comes with this piece of service equipment along with also some silicone grease. And you can use it on so many other things. For example, the 823. Now, people say you can put it here at the end because it's got the flat sides and then pop this off. It doesn't do it on mine. It just rounds the plastic edges here on the wrench. So maybe mine's a little bit tighter. I just tried this out before I did the video. And then I was about to close this. Then I looked a little closer and I realized this is full of ink. So I'm going to close it in the sink afterwards. But it does work like my Pelican here, my M805, relatively cheap pen, not so cheap. This pen comes apart nice and easy. Screw out this guy too. And if you really want to take it apart and service it, maybe you want to re-grease some stuff, this wrench just fits in here perfectly. And you can use it to take your, I don't know if it works the same on a 600 or 400 or 200 series pen, but on the 800s, works just fine. You can clean it out. I freshly greased it, and that's what I just used the wrench for the other day. That's why I thought I should just maybe make a note of that. It works spectacularly well on here. So there you go. I'll put this back together real quick. There we go. Tighten it down. Yeah, so just even for that feature alone, this wrench and the little bottle of grease they give you, this pen is totally worth it. Took that one apart. Maybe I should do the TWSBI here as well. This is nice for disassembly. It's very simple. I know some nib and feed sections are tough to get apart. They just slide on and off. So that's easy. You can go whichever way you want. So there is, I don't know if you can see that on here, there's 3 points, 1, 2, 3. So maybe if you prefer it, try to get the focus up. With clear, it's tough to see, but you can just see the little nibs there. But there's 3 points, so if you want it to be aligned with one of them or in between, I mean, you don't feel it when you're holding it, but maybe you want it to be here, or if you want it to be over there, you can align it however you want, so that's nice. I just did the Pelican, but yeah, as you drive the piston down, that's what this wrench is for. Pop it off, take it all out, clean it, assemble it, put it back together, keep it greased. So it comes with its own service equipment, which is really nice. Nice feature about the pen. Like I said, this one, for whatever reason, it just has some more slop. Maybe when I did it, I didn't put it together quite right. Maybe the slop is there. That's why it's not my other pen. But let's ink it up with this California teal and the crusty bottle here. Okay. Yeah, I'm down. Now, one thing with these, I definitely recommend put a few drops out. You got lots to spare in here. And then just draw it back in. I do the same thing with my 149. I'll screw it up. There we go. So we'll do a quick writing sample. If you want a close-up of the nib. I like their logo. It's kind of reminds me of a biohazard symbol, sort of, but it's a nice, nice colored, nice design on the nib. And you can see it's nice. You get to see the ink you got on there. So that is a nice feature about the demonstrator here. Maybe I'll start using this a little bit more. But let's just finish this off. So this is a TWSBI. This is the Eco. The nib, I believe, is a fine. I don't think I went for extra fine on this one when I bought it, because this is fine enough. Writes well. It's nice and wet. Like, that is one thing with this one. That is no shortage of wetness. Fairly smooth. I find on cheaper paper, this does feel scratchier. This is, I think this is Clairefontaine. Yep, there it is. This is quite smooth on this. But yeah, I haven't had any problems writing with it. It always writes. It's just maybe not my favorite nib to write with. But it's a good pen. I wish the section was a little bit bigger for my fingers. That'd be a little bit more comfortable. That's the other reason I don't use it. Everything kind of is a little bit too tight for me. I like wider pens. As far as a sample, we'll just do a quick brown fox. With this nib, I don't know if you'll get the full effect of the sheen that this California teal has. On its own, it's a very nice green. But as you could see with those dried up ink bits, It's got a really nice red sheen to it. Yeah, this nib just won't showcase it enough. If I had it in the 1.1, maybe you'd see a little bit more. Here, I'll do a 1.1 sample with it real quick so you can just compare. This is the Eco as well. There we go, quick brown fox. Being super sloppy here. And yeah, you know, no problem with wetness on this one at all. Whew, that's a gusher. I think this is the DC Pen Show blue that's on there. But yeah, if you just want to see a difference or a comparison between the fine and the stub, which is not a very useful comparison, but whatever, we'll do it. No flex, by the way, really on this nib. There you go. So you can see even for a 1.1 millimeter stub, you're not getting crazy line variation. I would step up to a different one if you want it. But if you want a little bit of a stub, even though it says 1.1, this is, you know, it seems a little bit less than that. So, but there you go. These are my two. And yeah, that's one thing with the white one. It stains a little bit easier, so I'm probably going to go clean this off. But there we're done, and I'll just give you, yeah, I can see on that ink just how much red sheen there is on this stuff. It's quite cool. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Comments are great. We'll see you in the next one.